Watch your step, Tenno! My ghouls could be anywhere!
The ghouls were designed with a simple philosophy. Victory assured through overwhelming numbers and the element of surprise. Welcome back to the channel. Tenno. I am your host, Vault Zero, and we cover Warframe on daily. We cover lore as well as tips and tricks to help you conquer the origin system. Today we're going to be talking about the ghouls and their role within the Grineer Empire. The ghouls are hastily bred Grineer clones, grown in dipause bags, dropped in from space and buried into the ground. They are favored creations of Counselor Vahek, who refers to him as his children. The ghouls can be found hidden under the ground all throughout the plains of Eidolon, ready to strike any Tenno, oblivious and stumbling into near burial grounds. The ghouls are Grineer's shock and ambush units, consisting of malformed, defective, and partially developed clones incubated for several days in dipause bags that are buried in the ground with an emphasis on simplicity and the speed of growth over the quality and finesse that the typical Grineer soldier is bred with. They are bred with toxic and paralytic blood. This makes them a threat even after they have died. They become a subject of study and research by Sigor Savannah, whose encrypted journal fragments have provided details about the various ghouls and how they are employed by the Grineer. Far from the finest of soldiers, these deformed monstrosities may be lacking in typical qualities such as intelligence, sanity, or even longevity, but their sheer numbers, deadly weapons, and savage, ferocious nature more than make up for it. Their burial process employs the element of surprise, which guarantees that any unlucky adversary will quickly become consumed and defeated. Ghouls are used in advance of normal Grineer troops to soften up the opposition. However, before the battle begins, it is crucial that the ghouls must be kept sated, or they will turn and consume any nearby Grineer troops. Ghouls are relentless and incapable of feeling fear, as even massive casualties will be ineffective at quelling any ghoul advance. They can be mainly found and employed in the fields of Eidolon, used by the Grineer with an attempt to reinforce their rule over the plains, while also using them to attack nearby Austrian militias. While not of Vor's design, the general uses the ghouls to great effect. Credit for the development of these horrors goes to none other than Dr. Tengus, father of the infamously unstable Grustag III. Developed in his laboratories against the wishes of Vor himself, and with the funding of a certain ill-fated counselor, the ghouls are Tengus's crowning achievement, and they have secured the Doctor's place in the good grace of the Grineer Queens. Dr. Tengus first created these vicious ghouls with the help of Counselor Vahek, set during the rise of the Grineer Empire in the Kuva Fortress. Vahek and Dr. Tengus discuss how obedient the ghouls will be to the Grineer Empire. Of course, the Doctor assures him, reminding him the Grineer Queens themselves will be the audience of the creation. Playing the good host, the counselor wears a wig and ruff before meeting the fellow Grineer generals. The Grineer treat him with disdain and disrespect, while the Grineer Queens find his act insulting. Apologizing, the counselor then shares his own visions to the Queen, a vision in which the Grineer conquers the solar system without having to deploy a single ship or carrier. The conquest, where an invasion of planets would simply mean seeding a batch of biomass bags from orbit. He presents the ghouls to the Queen, stunning his entire audience with his creation. Unfortunately for the counselor, in a stunning act of betrayal, or perhaps a deliberate stunt to showcase their ferocity to the Queen, the treacherous Tengus kicks Vahek into the ghoul's enclosure where he is torn apart by the cannibalistic creatures. Impressed by the display, the Queens order Tangus to reconstruct Heck with cybernetics, turning him into the cybernetic monstrosity we see today. Really quick, if you guys have made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you smash that like button. We're going to talk about something really exciting. We have recently unlocked channel memberships. We have really cool perks such as membership polls, members only videos once per month. We have cool stickers and emojis you guys can use. Memberships start at $2.99 a month, so it's not a bad deal, and it can help you support the channel, help me get better sound equipment, better recording equipment. But as always, if that is not something you guys are financially able to do at the moment, I completely understand, and your viewership is more than enough for me. Shifting our focus a little bit to the biology of the Grineer ghouls, they are draped in the shreds of bags that birthed them. Ghouls are formed with repurposed Grineer gene slurry and embody the phrase quantity over quality. Very little, if any, attention is given to the development of the higher functions, which cause them to exhibit what can best be described as primitive and even animalistic behaviors. Due to their cheap creation and outside factors such as malnutrition and environmental poisoning, the ghouls may possess characteristics such as receding gums, exposed bones, extended and pale skin. They may also lack verbal communication skills. The Grineer also attempt to bolster ghoul regiments through the use of growth hormone infusers, which allow for even faster gestation periods. Ghouls have a unique weakness to rock jewel, a common chemical used in Grineer manufacturing. Despite its benign in nature, a large dose of ultra-refined rock jewel can be quite fatal to any ghouls that are still developing. However, despite the ghoul's simple-mindedness and animalistic nature, some ghouls may be birthed with the cognition complex enough to understand their surroundings and desire to defect from the pack. Some defectors have attempted to contact the Steel Meridian and seek refuge in the dissection the hands of Dr. Tangus. All ghouls have paralytic blood, which is released in a cloud upon death that inflicts cold and toxic on any Tenno that comes in contact with the cloud. In addition to the biology of the ghouls, we're going to take a second to look at the 5 variations of the ghouls. Here we have the Ghoul Auger. It is a Grineer ghoul armed with drills that allow it to quickly dig underground and ambush their foe. Attached to these weapons are fuel canisters, doubling as flamethrowers. As with all ghouls, they will release a cloud of cold and toxin upon death. Moving on from there, we have the Ghoul Devourer. It is considered to be Vahek's personal favorite. Despite its massive girth, it is armed with a powerful wrist-mounted hook that allows it to close the distance between it and its target. The third type is known as the Ghoul Expired, a Grineer ghoul that has suffered from malnutrition or poisoning during the early part of its development, causing their nervous systems to drive them forward and function as the ideal suicide troop, aiding them in their task as a pair of shields and multiple bomblets strapped on. Coming in at number 4, we have the Ghoul Rectus, which is a ghoul armed with the Ghoul Saw. These saws can be fired similar to the Pathera's alternate fire, traveling a distance before returning to them. They also have the uncanny ability to ride on the ejected saws, allowing them to approach and ram their enemies from afar. And finally, we come to the most dangerous type of ghouls, the Ghoul Alphas. Despite their unpredictable and fickle nature, some ghouls may develop unforeseen mutations, such as higher brain functions. Despite their abilities being rudimentary, they still allow these lucky ghouls to rise above the others and lead them. Additionally, Ghoul Alphas may simply be more brutal and savage than the rest. Alphas lead their packs with relentless savagery and may attempt to call out any unlucky ghoul defectors and hold them prisoner for dissection. I did want to let you guys know about a really cool webcomic series that Digital Extremes did based on the Ghouls, and is actually when the Ghouls were debuted. Basically, a Grenier army led by Captain Four raided Ostrasen village on the plains of Eidolon. They scavenged for Orcan artifacts left in the vicinity, and when a Excalibur Warframe arrived to help fend off the invaders, the Ghouls were dispatched, and even though the Excalibur fought bravely, he was overwhelmed by the onslaught of their sheer numbers. And I thought that was really interesting because with the new player experience, it doesn't really explain why you wake up in the Ostrasen village, or who Vor is, or why you have the device strapped to your Warframe. However, if you read the comic series, it makes a lot of sense because you're actually the frame that was responding to the Ostrasen call for help. But guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the stars.